Welcome back, family, to our new series, Holistic Leadership, Nurturing Your Well-Being to Serve Your Community. And in this first video, we'll dive into something deep many of us know intimately, and that's the burden of being a Black leader in this industry, in this country, the challenges we face. It's an incredible weight we carry, mind, body, and spirit. And often when I'm talking to many of the ministers or Black leaders of nonprofits, they're nonstop. They're out in the community, they're at a funeral, they're at a wedding, they're at a graduation, they're listening to someone talk about their issues. It's just nonstop. And many of us don't talk about this, nor do other people understand. I mean, we're constantly pouring out, serving our community, serving our congregations, serving everyone who needs it. And often we're dealing with the immense pressure of raising enough funds to make sure our community programs are functioning properly. This is a non-stop, almost 24-hour struggle that we face. But who's pouring into you? And today we're going to acknowledge these silent struggles that we all face. And we're going to look at breaking down the stigma and looking for ways to renew and rejuvenate our wellspring so we can start fresh and new and avoid burnout. As Black leaders, our well-being is not just personal, it's community. It's important for us to be at our best because we are often the backbone of change in our community. But what if that strength that we show on the surface is silently eroding us, mind, body, and spirit, and with the added burden of financially fundraising for the programs that are needed in the community? What then? And it's not just about getting through the day. It's about building a sustainable foundation so you can continue to be the leader, the inspiration, and the force behind the change in your community. I mean, let's face it. Your well-being is your legacy. So let's first talk about the silent burden, which is burnout and compassion fatigue for Black leadership. And let's be honest, as Black leaders of churches or nonprofits, the demands on you are immense. They're truly often beyond what others can grasp. I mean, you're not just leaders. You're often spiritual guides, counselors, advocates, community organizers, chief fundraisers. I mean, the list goes on and on. And often, if it weren't for you during challenging times, the entire race would be lost. There's no question. This constant outpouring, coupled with this relentless pressure to consistently fundraise and have financial stability, can often lead to profound burnout and what we called compassion fatigue. And let's keep it 100. Burnout isn't just being tired. It's deep exhaustion. It's constant physical fatigue that no amount of sleep can fix. It's just ongoing and you just don't see an end to it. And compassion fatigue, that emotional toll of bearing witness of trauma day in and day out for our community, that just builds up and builds up. I mean, you're so focused on the healing of others, you may not realize the wounds you're accumulating. I mean, there's a great book I read. It's called The Body Keeps Score. It talks about the emotional damage that we carry to the rest of to the grave if we don't address the trauma that we see, that we are a part of, that we bear witness to. And let's name something specific that only we deal with, and that is navigating anti-Black racism, the emotional labor that is, even in well-meaning spaces. I mean, the code switching, the need to educate, the subtle microaggressions. It's an added, invisible burden that compounds the exhaustion. This level of pressure can make it almost feel impossible to truly rest and recharge. Now, are you recognizing any of these signs in yourself? Take a moment, even now, to acknowledge what you're feeling. Validation is the first step to healing. Now this brings us to section 2, shattering the strong black man/woman narrative. For generations, we've been told to stand strong. The strong black man, the strong black woman narrative has been a source of resilience and a survival mechanism for our people in our community. But for leaders, it can become a cage, preventing us from admitting when we're struggling. The pressures of always being solid, to always having the answers, to never showing weakness for the sake of our community or our ministries, it can be immense. But let's be crystal clear. Vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a profound strength. Suppressing your emotions for the sake of the community, for fear of appearing weak, or because you believe your faith demands unwavering stoicism, is a danger to your well-being. It's actually okay to not be okay. It's okay to acknowledge your pain, your fear, your doubts, despite any expectations from within our community or outside our community. Modeling authenticity as a leader is a powerful act of liberation for yourself and for those you serve. And this brings us to our first quick quiz, and it's a true or false. As a Black leader, showing vulnerability undermines your authority. Leave your answers in the comments below. Now, this brings us to section 3, protecting your peace, setting boundaries, and seeking culturally affirming support. Now, to sustain your spirit and protect your peace, you must set clear, intentional boundaries. Now, this is often challenging in our tight-knit community, where lines often blur between ministry, community, and professional and personal lives. They just blur. It can often feel impossible to say no to an important meeting or a congregant in need or a community in crisis. But your well-being is non-negotiable. And if you're playing the long game of leadership, you're going to have to learn to say no. Let's start by defining what your non-negotiables are. Specific times for rest, for family, for personal spiritual practice. Communicate these boundaries kindly but firmly. It's not about being unavailable. It's about being sustainable. And remember, saying no to one thing means saying yes to your long-term capacity to serve. Equally crucial for protecting your peace is seeking culturally affirming support. That's key. Let's actively address the historical and ongoing stigma of mental health in the Black community and leadership circles. Therapy is not a sign of weakness. It's a courageous act of self-care if it works for you. Seek out culturally competent mental health professionals who understand the Black experience, your faith traditions, and the unique pressures you carry. And never, ever underestimate the power of a Black peer group that's a support network. Connected with Black like-minded leaders doing the same work that you do can be reaffirming, uplifting, spiritual growth. It can be exhilarating when someone understands what you're going through. They even have solutions for you. So don't underestimate the power of a peer group network. Seek them out. And if you don't have any, create one, because these are spaces you can usually truly let your guard down. Here's an action step. Consider identifying 1 or 2 trusted, affirming individuals. It can be a peer, a mentor, or a therapist, and reach out to them this week. Start the conversation. Also, check out our YouTube video, The One Thing for Justice, Prioritizing Impact of Your Ministry. This will help you stay focused and silent or eliminate some of the social noise. Now, this takes us to section 4, renewing your wellspring, personal spiritual practice beyond duty. Your spiritual wellspring is your source of strength, purpose, and resilience. But as a leader, it's easy for your personal spiritual life to become synonymous with your professional duties. You're pouring out your spirituality for others. but who's pouring into you. Cultivate a personal spiritual life that feeds you, not just for your sermons, not just for your board meetings, but for your soul and your spirit that nourishes you. Explore spiritual disciplines that truly resonate with you and our culture. It can be anything from walking in nature. It can be quiet meditation. It can be yoga. It can be anything. It can be journaling. It can be just having a quiet time in a quiet space. It can be taking yourself on a date just by yourself. It can be anything that nourishes your soul and your spirit. Personally, I like to journal. I like to meditate. I also do yoga. One of my favorite things to do is walking in nature. The Japanese call it nature bathing or forest bathing. Sorry, they call it forest bathing. It's where you're just walking in nature, and it's just one of the most profound things that happen to you. You don't take anybody with you, don't take your dog with you. You just sort of walk, leave your earphones in the car, and you just walk and just take in nature, connecting your personal spiritual renewal to the enduring strength and resilience of our ancestors can be profoundly empowering. Draw from the well of courage and wisdom that has sustained our people for generations. This is your personal sacred space, your refuge, your true source of renewal. Now, this brings us to our second quick quiz. Which is more important for a Black leader, a public spiritual practice or a private spiritual practice? Leave your answers in the comments below. But this is a trick question. This brings us to our last section, closing and a call to action. Recognizing and nourishing your well-being is not a luxury. It's an absolute necessity if you want to sustain your leadership and create a lasting impact. When you're whole, your ministry, your organization, your leadership, and your community thrive. It's an act of self-preservation and indeed an act of liberation. Your challenge this week is to take 15 minutes to personally nourish your personal spiritual well-being. And that could be whether you walk for 15 minutes, journal for 15 minutes, meditate for 15 minutes, whatever feeds your soul and nourishes your soul and renews your soul. I want you to make sure to do it this week. And if you don't know what that is, experiment, find out what works for you, but take 15 minutes to do it. You have to prioritize your wellspring. As always, thank you for joining us on this video journey, and I hope you found it helpful. And if you did, please like and subscribe to our channel. And more importantly, and what I always ask you to do, please share this video with your colleagues, with those that are in your industry this can help, because it's important for us to share this information, because when one of us do well, we can all do well, and when we all do well, our entire community is uplifted. So please, please, please share this video with your colleagues, and please leave a comment below and let me know what 15 minutes you're going to do to nourish your soul and your spirit this week. And then also, I'd love to hear what some of your invisible burdens are that you're challenged with, and what steps you're taking to protect your peace for the week. So we'll see you next time. And remember, continue to pour into yourself so you can continue to powerfully pour into your community. Together we rise. Take care.